What's happening, fellas? We're at stop number 4 today at my friend Justin's house in Southington, and he's got a whole driveway full of kick-ass machines here. What's happening, Justin?
How you doing?
Man, you've got quite the collection here. Billy was telling me you've got about 40 bikes.
Correct.
And you've got the 2-car garage in the basement. You're kind of outgrowing the facility here, so...
Yes, I'm paying a king's ransom in storage now on off-site facilities, and it's time to thin out the herd a little bit.
So we're going to find some new homes for these bikes here. These are the 10 that we're buying from him today. And in the first row, these are all bikes that Justin bought brand new. And the oldest one is over here. We might as well start with that. What year is that one?
That's a 1999 Kawasaki ZX11. I bought that new. That was my 4th ZX11 in a row. And I ended up selling it to my best friend who kept it for many years, and I ended up getting it back from him a couple of years ago.
It's a beautiful piece. You had it fired up earlier. It sounds really good. You were in the process of doing some servicing on it, so the cowling pieces are not on it now, but he has all that.
Yeah, all those plastics are there. I was just getting ready to service the bike, and
it's in beautiful shape for a 99. And I lined up the bikes that he had. I asked when we bought them out of the garage, can we line up the ones you bought brand new? Because I think it's a special testimony to the kind of person you are to buy a bike brand new and have it still look good 25 years later. Or this one right here. This is actually a brand new motorcycle, right?
So this is a 2001 Kawasaki KE100, the final year of production. My father had it one new in 1973, and the first picture of me on a motorcycle is on his KE100. This I bought new in 2001, has 202 original miles on it. I actually bought it from my girlfriend, but she was afraid of it, so I rode it a little bit just to get coffee and stuff. It has never seen the dirt. It's never seen foul weather of any type, and it's just a beauty. I have all the original paperwork, brochures, everything for it.
This has got to be, Justin. I'm not going out on a limb saying this. This is the nicest one I've ever seen. They haven't made them in 20 years, and most of these were owned by youngsters, young guys or gals that rode the wheels off of them, and usually beginning riders, you know, because it's a 100, and usually they're all smashed up. This is absolutely pristine. This is one that should stay in the museum for sure, if at all possible.
I would love for that to happen. It's a beauty.
It's absolutely stunning.
You know, they made this motorcycle. This was the 2nd generation. This is a B20. So they made 20 years of almost the identical bike except for different colors and stuff like that. But there was an A series before that. But this is the final one. They made about 35 different years of the KE100, maybe even longer than that. And this is the last one. I tracked one down new at a dealership in Massachusetts. I can't remember the name of the dealership. Route 3A Kawasaki, I believe is what it was called. But my dealer did a locate, and I drove up there and grabbed it that day.
It's awesome and brand new, not a scratch on it. This other bike over here, tell the viewers what you got here, because this is really a unique piece. There's so many custom items on this. This would almost be a whole video on its own.
So this I bought new. It's a 2010 Yamaha FZ1. I bought it from the dealership and added on the factory GYTR, which is genuine Yamaha technology racing retro body kit. So the bike was originally all maroon, and they took all the plastics in the tank off and put on a factory kit that makes it look like an RZ350 or an RZ500.
It's absolutely stunning with the gold forks, the gold wheels, and the bodywork. To me, just as nice as a Burgundy is, there's nothing like that traditional Yamaha racing livery, for lack of a better word. And this thing's as good as brand new as one I've ever seen. There's not a scratch on it. It's spotless like all the rest of your bikes. It's beautiful.
I bought every GYTR accessory available for it when the catalog was out from genuine Yamaha. All the little bar ends and the little doodads and the engine covers and the oil caps, that sort of stuff. The carbon fiber exhaust, and then I added several other things. It's got a Givi trunk setup if you want to take a blast up out on the road someday.
The pipe is just beautiful, GYTR carbon fiber.
It's got an arrow header and a GYTR muffler.
Want to start it for the viewers?
Sure.
Because when you fired this thing up, I was like, man, it's like...
It's got a $500 GPR steering damper on there. Adjusters for the compression damping. It's a beauty, and it sounds like an F-15 when it starts.
It is insane.
And it's got 3,017 original miles.
Really, really. kick-ass machine. The attention to detail is second to none on this thing, guys. It doesn't even need to be washed. The thing's spotless. Safety wired, oil plug. Now, you used to be a road racer in the day, so your attention to detail for stuff like that, there's a clue. The guy knows his bikes.
Yeah, I was an expert road racer in the Loudon Road Racing Series, and you know, I'm a big believer in taking care of your machines and making sure they're maintained properly. This also has a carbon fiber hugger and a carbon fiber chain guard. I got those out of Europe. It's got the factory comfort seat. I actually also have the original. It's got the solo tail cover.
That looks cool. The solo tail cover.
And it has multiple modifications from Ivan's Performance, who is well known as being an FC1 guy.
What do you think the rear wheel horsepower is on this?
You know, I really wouldn't hazard to guess, to be honest with you. I hate
We could throw it on the dyno when we get it to the shop, and I'll let you know.
There you go. This is, so in 2010, this was a previous generation FZ1 motor.
Which is
excuse me, R1 motor.
Which was the fastest. That was a race motor, right?
Yeah, it was a rocket ship. You know, now it's 11-year-old bike, but
it's like brand new.
To guess that you're not going to find one any cleaner anywhere.
It's absolutely stunning. The finest I've ever seen. And over here, Big Red. This is Junior and I both have one of these. Mine's a 19. His is a 17, I think. They haven't changed them in like 20 years. So
they came out in 1993 and almost entirely have not been changed. They're bulletproof reliability, incredibly fun to ride, and the only thing that's really changed on them is the colors and the stickers. But since 1993, it's basically the same bike. This is a 2015. I bought this new at Manchester Honda here in Connecticut, and
it's got no miles on it.
Yeah, it's never
1,700 miles.
Never seen dirt, never seen rain. It's literally, I just take rides to get coffee at Dunkin' Donuts or something.
One of my favorite motorcycles. We've got a museum of high performance bikes. There's just something about the air cooled big bores. I had one of these when I was a kid. They are just fantastic machines, totally bulletproof. You want to run a Paris-Dakar or an enduro race, or ride this thing anywhere across country, it'll take it. They're just absolutely bulletproof. And this is as nice as an example I've seen of a 15. It's basically brand new and 100% original. Nothing's been done with emissions on it. So if you want to ship it to California or whatever, it's all right out of the box.
Yep, it's
original.
It's legal in all 50 states. One of the common things to do is to uncork all the California smog stuff, and I haven't done that on this. So you could ship this to any state in the country, and it's perfectly legally registered. It's
absolutely perfect. Now this bike right here, this really caught my eye for the same reason the KE100 did. Most of these were ridden into the ground by kids, stripped down. This looks to be one of the nicest original I've seen. It's got 408 miles. What's the story on this one?
So when I was a kid, I wanted one of these new, and my parents refused to let me get it because they thought I'd be riding all over town illegally.
Which you would have been.
Which I would have been. So they bought me an XR80, which was the dirt version of this.
And you probably rode that around town illegally, right?
Quite a bit. And I rode the wheels off the thing. But
Hell yeah.
I always said, as an adult, I'm going to find one of these in really nice shape and put it in my collection. I found this in California. I shipped it all the way to Connecticut, 3,000 miles at great expense. And it is absolutely flawless. I have all the original paperwork, owner's manual, service manual, parts manual, sales brochure, assembly and prep manual, you name it. And
it is absolutely pristine. These are the original tires. They kind of turn a little bit of a weird color after, 36 years.
Yep.
But those can be cleaned up with some cleaning chemicals. But the paint job and the seat and the levers and the bars, it still has a plastic coating on the levers, all the stuff you look for, just pristine. And he has a brand new NOS tire in the house that he just showed me, along with all the fully documented, stunning little piece, man. This is another keeper, folks. A beautiful piece. And then this one here, this is probably the most rare motorcycle in your entire collection, isn't it?
This is true. This is a 1983 Yamaha RX50. But the reason that it's rare is because it's an RX50 MK, and the MK designation is for Midnight Special. And if any of you remember or know vintage 80s motorcycles, Yamaha made a 650 and 650 or 600 and 850 and a 1000cc Midnight Special Edition motorcycle that were all black with gold trim. This was never available to the American public except through winning a raffle at your Yamaha dealership. One to a dealer, and you had to win a raffle. You could not buy this off the showroom floor.
It wasn't for sale ever, right?
Ever, right. So there's RX-50s out there, lots of them, and you could go in and buy them for $1,200 or whatever they were new, and they're great for teenagers or a college student to commute around town. But this one is ultra, ultra rare because it's the Midnight Special Edition.
What's different between this and the Midnight Special?
What's different is...
I mean, Midnight Special and the regular one.
The Midnight Special has actual real emblems instead of stickers on the tank and on the side cover.
And you have an NOS set that goes with
I
it,
have
right?
NOS set. I have NOS side covers and blinkers and mirrors and all kinds of stuff to go on this. So by the time Kaplan America is done with this thing, I'm sure it's going to be beautiful because there's a lot of brand new parts going on.
It will be museum quality with all the NOS parts that you have to replace any item on it that might end up be 100%. This is going to be a stunner. And they're a lot of fun to ride. It is at 50, but correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't this a 6-speed?
It is, I'm not actually sure about that, but it is a 2-stroke, which makes it a lot of fun, and it's street legal as a 2-stroke.
And
So,
I think they make hop-up kits for this too. I'm pretty sure there's big bore
this
kits
is
and
the
stuff.
same, basically the same motor that was in a YSR 50.
So I'm sure there's a cult following on these things out there. We've sold a couple of these, but of course they weren't. This one, I've never seen one of these actually in person. The other one has a sticker on the tank and not the metal badge. So, and the new ones are going to look just beautiful on there.
And I bought this at auction from the original owner, who was the owner of a Yamaha dealership in Massachusetts.
Wow.
And he was closing the dealership. So this was his personal bike. It's got 1,190 original miles on a 1983.
Cool story. Now this one, guys, if this looks familiar, we sold this. You bought this from us.
Probably 5 years, 4 or 5 years.
4 or 5 years ago, yeah.
Maybe not even that long.
And it's coming back. I knew the bike. It's got low miles, 9,900 miles on it for the year is very low, and it's absolutely pristine. And you've kind of taken it to the next level. You've done a couple things since you got it, right?
So I'm very picky about everything. So anytime I buy a motorcycle, I immediately start checking all over the world for NOS parts, even if I don't need them. So I've bought a lot of original parts for this. This actually had a Vance & Hines SS2R slip-on on it when
Which
I bought it.
sounded killer, but
And I tracked this down. This is an original NOS Honda CB1000 muffler that I tracked down in Europe and had it shipped over here and installed it. This thing runs like an absolute sewing machine. It's in incredible shape, great handling, beautiful bike. Lots of new parts on it, and I've still got some extra parts for it too. So
it's a fantastic bike. Junior just bought one of these from one of our clients who had it on display in the museum, and he wanted to sell it. And Junior said, "Give me a price. I might want it myself." The red one, and he bought it. It's not as nice as this one, but it's really nice. And these are fantastic all-day bikes. The riding position is not like on a Hayabusa or something where all the pressure's on your wrist. This is a nice, comfortable all-day riding bike. And you added the crash bars on there,
that's
which
right. Those are factory crash bars, genuine Honda line accessories, ultra rare. This bike was called Project Big One. That was the internal name for it in Japan, and they only made it for 2 years, as far as I know, altogether. But at least in the U.S., it was only available as a '94 in black and a '95 in red, which Junior has.
Yeah, my good friend, lifelong friend David Riley has the black one, and he's had it for I don't know, decades and a long times, and he loves this. It's just a great. This isn't a bike that'll ever go out of style. It's just a classic.
Great bike. Lots of fun to ride. Ultra comfortable. Got plenty of power. Handles well. Can't beat it. And just like you said, it will not go out of style.
I see a trend here. Besides the pit bikes, all your bikes are leader bikes, big bore bikes, or 650s.
I'm a big
bit of a gearhead.
I've had Hayabusas and ZX12s and ZRX 1200s and ZX.
I got to show if we can we show him your bike when we're done here?
Yeah.
He's got hang on, folks. You're going to see the nicest ZRX 12 I've ever seen. Olin suspension, and it's fantastic. This is a rare classic right here. This is a 1 year only model, right?
This is a 1 year only model. It's a 1983 Honda CB1000 Custom. It was my uncle's bike. He then sold it and bought it back several years later, and it has made its way into my hands. So this has the factory Honda line as well, and it's got some miles on it, but it's in very good condition for 38 years old.
So this was in your family since it was.
He was the original owner. Then he sold it to somebody, and then bought it back from.
So this should have been in the front row with all the other ones that were family bikes that were in your family since new. This qualifies for front row. One family purchase in final origin, even if it was sold once to a friend. But just a beautiful piece. This is original paint on the tank, guys. I can't say I've seen an original paint one much nicer than that. Super clean, has a nice shine. This is an undetailed, unrestored original. That'll be a lot of fun to ride for sure. Nice comfy 1000cc with a dual range transmission and the highway pegs. Definitely a classic 80s super bike or leader bike, 1000cc. This one over here is another rare bird too. Describe this one to me.
So this is a very rare 1 year only bike. Again, this is a 2003 Suzuki SV1000. It's the only year they made the naked version. All the other years is a full fairing
This
model.
is my favorite version. I just think it looks badass.
I love it. I literally tracked it down in, I think it was South Carolina, and had it shipped up here because they're so hard to find in clean condition. Great bike. I've got a Corbin seat. I've got the original seat. I tracked down the original Solo Tail NOS in Europe and had it shipped over here. I've got lots of new parts for it, brand new in the box, just because, again, I'm very anal about that stuff. Just a very cool, fast, very, very torquey V-twin motor. Wheelie monster, if you ever wanted to get into that.
Now they road race these too, right?
I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure.
Or was it the TL one? The TL 1000 one?
Oh, the TL1000, I think it was.
Yeah.
They raced against the Super Hawk Hondas.
Isn't that the same motor as this, or is that?
Yeah,
yep.
Basically the same, almost the same motor.
I gotta say, when you stand back right here and look at this bike with the silver rims, the silver fork lowers, the aluminum chassis, the silver tank, it looks like it's cast from a piece of billet aluminum.
Yeah, yeah.
Like the whole bike is either, it's all the same shit. It just looks really cool. This Corbin saddle's like top shelf too.
So I also have several genuine Suzuki accessories for it. I have brand new crash bars, and there's some carbon fiber bits and stuff like that that have not been installed. Again, heavily documented. I've got all the original paperwork, owner's manual, service manual, parts manual, sales brochures.
The literature and documentation you have on this collection here is on the podium of all the collections I've ever purchased. And part of that is because, well, you bought 5 out of the 10, 4 were yours brand new, and 1 was your uncle's brand new. So the attention to detail to maintaining the history and the provenance on these is second to none, and definitely on the podium. They may, if not on the top step of one of the most well-documented collections, because most people lose the factory brochures and manuals, and you get a greasy manual that's, got some pages scribbled on, all your stuff is like perfect, including the titles. All the titles are clean titles and all of them. So did we talk about this red, white, and blue bike, or did that slip through the cracks?
I think about it slipped
This
through
is
the
Captain
cracks.
America colors here. So this one had me at hello. As beautiful as it is, you've got a whole bunch of NOS parts that go with this thing to make it really
Correct. So
perfect.
this is one of my favorite bikes that I always liked when I was a kid. 1986 and 1987 are the only years where it was red, white, and blue, especially with the red painted motor, which I always thought was the cat's meow.
It is.
I tracked this one down in Washington, D.C. and brought it back here to Connecticut. I have NOS side covers, NOS headlight cover. I have a brand new NOS fender in the bag.
That fender looks pretty good, actually, but
Yeah.
it does have a scratch in it, yeah.
And NOS blinkers, levers, grips, cables. I've gone through. It's got new tires, new chain and sprockets on there.
It's beautiful.
Just a cool bike, but most importantly, I have an NOS brand new fuel tank sitting in the box over in my storage that's going to come with
That's
it.
got to be like rare as hen's teeth, pretty much.
I can't even imagine what it would go for if one
if you
ever
could even
came
find
up
one,
on eBay.
yeah.
If you could ever
Most of
find
them, it's just you can't really ever duplicate not perfectly the factory finish, because the factory finishes do have a little bit of orange peel in them from this era. So I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but the paints were nice. But when someone puts a concourse paint job with 12 coats of clear, it just doesn't look the same. To get that, and this tank right here on a scale of 1 to 10 is an 8, but it's not perfect. And there's one scratch right here that you can see. It's not perfect, and having that NOS tank is just going to take this thing to the next level for sure. Just beautiful, and you even have new fork boots for it too.
Correct.
So this will be a fun one to redo. I'll really
Super, just as fun as the XR650L over here, which is also fun. Probably 2 of the most fun bikes I own. They're just great, super comfortable wheelie machines.
Big time.
They handle well. They're just great all around bikes. And I finally tracked one down, you know, one of the 86s, which I was very happy about. Too many toys right now and not enough space for them.
Yeah, with for one guy to maintain 40 bikes at this level, it's pretty like almost like a part-time job. I mean, it is a part-time job.
It never stops. It literally never stops.
And you've got tenders on every one that had a battery is plugged in.
Yep.
And they're all washed and cleaned and nice, and it is a lot of work. So this will also free you up so you can get the bikes you want to ride out a little easier too.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So I think, did we cover all 10 of these out here?
I'm pretty sure we did.
So we got 10 out here and 10 in the trailer. My alarm went off at 5 o'clock this morning. We've been out buying bikes. I bought more bikes than will fit in the 36-foot trailer. I'm gonna have to do 2 trips because there's 10 in there now. But it's just been a great day. Wait till you see what he's got in here. Wait till you see this thing. This is not for sale. Probably never will be for sale. This is another bike that he bought brand new. And if you look closely, this thing's got some unobtainium, top shelf, best stuff you can possibly get. I guess let's start at the front end on this because this is just stunning.
So I'm embarrassed because the bike's pretty dirty right now.
By your standards.
It's got Dimag carbon fiber wheels. It's got Öhlins forks, shocks, and steering damper.
Top shelf. Look at the gold DLC, if that's what they call it, DLC.
It's got Brembo GP4RX calipers front and rear. And just this adapter to match it to the Öhlins forks was $700 for both sides. So
major investment in wheels and tires and suspension and brakes and
Spiegler braided lines. It's got custom engine covers on both sides where you can see the internals of the motor.
That's just insane.
Running.
Who makes those?
Geez, I don't even remember.
That's just beautiful.
I'm embarrassed.
And that's aluminum, so it'll polish up like a new penny.
Oh, without a doubt, without a doubt. It's got Rentec engine guards on there. It's got a custom exhaust bracket with a Muzzy full system. Again, Öhlins rear shocks. The carbon fiber wheels in the back as well with the Brembo brakes.
What year did you get that? You bought this brand new?
This is 2004. I bought it brand new.
18 years ago.
Yeah, it's got Renthal bars, Rizoma perches, and Brembo RCS master cylinders on the clutch and brake.
Just beautiful. That's top. There's no China stuff here. This is Brembo top shelf everything.
This is a Throttle Meister throttle lock, so if you want to cruise, you can cruise. All in all, and it's got significant motor work done.
Look at the badge on this thing. It's like looks like it's 24 karat gold. It's beautiful. And this is another bike, again, obviously brand new, no expense spared, labor of love. I mean, you must have a small fortune tied up in this thing, and not only just money but time sourcing all the parts. And did you build? Who does this kind of work for you?
I've got a friend that used to be a mechanic for the Porsche car racing team, and then he worked at Hudson Valley Motorsports in New York and he's a top quality mechanic, and he also has ZRXs. So he's the guy to go to.
You can tell.
I can't take credit for all the work.
I can tell you this: you probably won't meet a person that has seen more motorcycles than I have. I've been to Daytona 30 years in a row, and I'm that guy that I don't drink or do drugs, but I drink a lot of coffee, and I'll be walking around at 2 o'clock in the morning just through the parking lots looking at all the bikes. I've seen more bikes than anybody you probably ever met, and his attention to detail and the quality of the upgrades, they look NOS from 10 feet, but when you get up close, you see the craftsmanship that was put into this bike is just fantastic. And as far as that goes, I mean, everywhere you look, the custom covers and the PIA horns and the custom swing arm and the carbon fiber wheels, just a beautiful piece.
Chain guard and then you got the skid pucks and custom brackets for the radiator.
I know the answer, but this is a rhetorical question. Why the ZRX 1200 of all the? I mean, obviously you're a man of means. You can have any bike you want. Why the ZRX 1200?
I just kind of fell in love with it. I always say, this is a funny thing I like to say. I'm a carbureted guy living in a fuel injected world. So this is a carbureted bike. I'm an 80s kid, 70s and 80s kid, and this is a factory retro bike. This is a 2004. They made them in the U.S. until 2005, but it was made to look like an early 80s motorcycle, the Eddie Lawson Championship replica bike. So I fell in love with it right from the get, as soon as they came out, and I was like, I got to get one of these.
It had you at hello.
yeah. And then there's a very, very rabid crew of riders that are ZRX guys, the ZRX Owners Association, which is on the internet. And there's still guys developing and coming out with super cool custom parts for these bikes. And my wallet just just is empty all the time. Whenever somebody comes out with something new, I got to order it and put it on the bike. So.
There's another character of this bike, to me, a defining feature that you didn't touch on that I want to touch on, because you checked off all the boxes with why this is a bike for you to have. There's one other thing is that I want to talk about, and it's the same reason I ride the XR650 and the KLR 650 and my Harley FXR. This bike is a comfortable bike for. I'm 56 years old. How old are you?
49.
49. So, and you've raced and you've broken a lot of bones.
Raced a little motocross and road raced, and definitely had my share of surgeries.
This bike, if you look at it, look where the bars are. These are actually a little bit higher than the stock ones, right?
Yes.
So you're in a comfortable, upright riding position, yet you've still got how many horsepower?
Again, I don't know what the horsepower rating is, but it's way up
there.
A whole
shitload.
They're very, very powerful bike. This is actually a ZX11 motor. Carbureted as well, and they're rocket ships.
So it touches the bases of the 80s, 90s classic styling, but world class 2021 brakes and suspension in a riding position that's comfortable. You can get on this bike and ride it to Laconia, ride around a lake, and come back in a day and not be sore. It's an all day bike. That's one of the reasons these are really popular, and it's one of the reasons this is really popular, because this is really kind of cut from the same cloth, although yours is definitely more of a factory replica race style like the Eddie Lawson. But this style bike, to me, that's why Junior has one. It's comfortable. You're not putting all the pressure on your
comfortable and still has plenty of power on tap whenever you need it.
It's a kick-ass machine. There's one more bike I want to show the viewers in your garage that they're not going to see anywhere else.
Okay.
And this is a custom conversion on a KLX 400 Baja Designs dual purpose. And this thing, look at the shine on the spokes. It's you got to catch it in the sunlight just right. The spokes look like chrome. I said, are they chromed? When I saw it in the sunlight, they're not. Tell us about this one.
So this is a 2003 KLX 400 dirt bike that I bought from the original owner. It had never seen dirt, never seen rain. He owns a car dealership. He's kind of a quirky guy. And we installed a Baja Designs street legal kit on it. And he literally would ride on the same street, just 2 miles up, would ride from his dealership to Dunkin' Donuts, have a coffee, and come back. And for 18 years, it has sat in absolutely pristine condition. I've done a little bit of stuff to it myself to make it even more realistic, because they did make a street legal version of this bike. It just doesn't happen to be it. So I bought the correct KLX 400 SR handlebars and mirrors and bar ends and grips to make it look much more like an XR.
Was the dirt version more dirt worthy, like better suspension or different motor? Or was it?
I actually don't know the answer to that, but it's got plenty of kick in the pants when you want it, and goes right up in any gear, and electric start, which is a beautiful thing.
And here's another bike that I don't know if the camera does this justice. I don't think it is, but because I'm looking at the camera and it's not showing that shine off of that muffler. This thing is one of the cleanest of its type GPZs I've seen. This thing looks brand new. What year is this one?
So this is a 1995 Kawasaki GPZ 1100. Again, it basically has a ZX11 motor without the ram air. It's got pretty low miles and is absolutely immaculate in every way. I've done a lot of stuff to it. I tracked down the original factory hard bags, which these are the mounts for them right here, which is also an NOS kit that I found. And I mean, I can wheel it forward if you want to see it a little better. But
this would be, correct me if I'm wrong, but this would be classified as a sport touring bike, right?
Yep.
It's got the more, like we talked about with the ZRX. The ZRX is kind of like a naked sport tourer, so to speak, or more of a standard riding position. This has the full fairing, a nice screen. The pegs are nice and low and underneath you, so you're not leaning forward. And with the hard bags on it, this is
ZX.
So from the same era, they had the Concourse. Was that 1100?
1000.
1000 Concourse 1000. This is more sport than touring, and the Concourse was more touring than sport. But this is kind of like the best of both worlds, and the color just pops. It's a arrest me red for sure. I definitely want to have a radar detector on this one going on the highway.
So I've put the Throttlemeister throttle lock on it. I've put handlebar risers on it to make it more comfortable for touring. and a fork brace. But other than that, the bike is basically completely stock. And absolutely show them. I actually tracked down, they made this bike in Europe until 98. They only made it in the US in 95 and 96. And I tracked down the European engine emblems because theirs are way cooler. The American ones just say Kawasaki, but the European ones say Kawasaki and GPG in red on both sides of the bike, so it matches my bike perfectly.
So this is just part of your collection, 15 of your 40 bikes, and you also are a aficionado on ATCs. You've got some primo ATCs that might come out to the compound next time we have an event, right?
Yeah, next time he has an event, I'll probably bring a couple up there. I've been collecting and restoring ATCs since when you could buy them, and you could also actually buy parts at the dealership for them, which you can no longer do. They're very, very hard to find parts for, but they're an awful lot of fun.
BBC's making a lot of reproduction stuff.
Yeah, yes, they are.
Some killer new ones too.
Spangler, there's a company that makes Spangler, all kinds of stuff for the ATC 70s as well. That's really cool. But yeah, one of these days I'm gonna come up there with a few of them, a couple to show and a couple to ride, and maybe compete in one of your races.
Absolutely, it'll maybe spark the next event. We haven't had one. Well, COVID kind of shut all our events down for a year. We did the mini bike event last weekend, and then we did the two-stroke only event at Southwick. So I guess an ATC event might be next.
88. This one here, Kawasaki Vulcan 1500.
Got to be the nicest looking one I've ever seen. This thing looks brand new. How'd that happen?
So I actually bought this new out of a collection in Rhode Island in 2017. Brand new bike, no miles on it. And my father owned one of these originally and got run down on it.
Oh no!
He was not injured, and immediately went out and got another one because he loved it so much. And that ended up becoming mine. That was a 1994.
What size is this?
This is a 1500.
I've had a couple 800s that were kick-ass bikes for an 800. When you set up right, they run really good. This one must be a
incredible torque.
rocket
It's
ship.
amazing. Yeah. So, anyways, he went out and got another one. I ended up getting his bike, his 1994, when he retired from riding, and sold it a few years later and immediately regretted it. So I started looking for one and tracked down a brand new one. This is a 1998. And since then, I have tracked down every single genuine Kawasaki accessory ever made for it.
Holy moly.
And I've got about 20 of the accessories on the bike now, but I still have 2 boxes full of accessories that still need to go on it.
So you found this in a crate, brand new.
Yes.
What year?
That was 2017, I think.
So it was how many years? It was almost 20 years, right?
27 years or something? No.
So almost 30 years in a crate. And
20 years. No, 20 years.
20 years. 20 years. Okay, 20 years in a crate, and you set it up, and this is all Kawasaki accessories on here, which probably be really hard to find nowadays. I don't know where you find new 20-year-old accessories, but
definitely tough tracking them down. Like even these, you see the passenger floorboards have the factory Vulcan symbol engraved in them. So factory crash bars and chrome caps for the reservoirs, everything you can think of. Chrome cap for the triple trees.
Definitely a showpiece for sure. Last but not least, this is your girlfriend's bike, right?
This is my girlfriend's bike. This is a 1-year only model as well. This is a 09 Kawasaki ER6N, also known as basically the naked version of a Ninja 650.
Very cool piece. Love the color. The color. This is one of my favorite colors.
This is Candy Lightning Blue and Candy Thunder Blue are my 2 favorite colors from Kawasaki.
It's beautiful.
Great color.
Wow.
And everybody thinks it looks like a transformer kind of, which is really cool. And she's had it since new, loves it. We don't get out to ride too often, but she has a lot of fun on it. And
in 1969, Chevrolet had this color that they put on the Chevelle SS, and with white stripes, and it just
Fathom Blue or whatever.
I'm not sure, but it looked just very similar. It's like a metallic dark blue, just a very. I don't think the camera is doing it justice. Again, I'm looking at the camera. And looking at the bike, but very cool piece.
That's about it. That's all I can fit in my garage at my house. I can't believe in a 2-car garage with all these excess motorcycle parts on the shelves that I was able to fit. What do we got? 15 bikes out here or whatever. So.
Yeah. So like MTV Cribs, you got to kick us out of here now.
Yeah. And now, exactly. Now you see my crib. What is it? They snap their shirt.
Yeah, and you got to go. Well, thank you for sharing all these kick-ass bikes, and thanks for hooking me up with these 10 and taking good care. The CBR, we were talking off camera earlier. I told him every bike I've ever owned leaves me better than when I got it. And you're the same guy. You used to do the same thing. The CB1000, when I sold it to him, was super nice. It's coming back even super nicer. It was missing the stock exhaust and a couple other components, and it's come a ways since you got it from us. So thank you for getting these 10 kick-ass bikes to us. Guys, stay tuned. We will do riding demos on every one of these. They'll go through the shop, the Wizard, the Manic Mechanic, Mario. Bill will do spin the wrenches, get them all perfect, and then they'll go through detail shop. Ronnie and Kyle and the boys get everything looking good, top shelf. So all the NOS parts that he has for these will get mounted on all of them, including the tank on that one. So we're gonna. I got 18 guys, so you're one man taking care of 40 bikes here. My team will jump on them and take them to the next level, just like you did with the 1000. So thank you for hooking me up. I really appreciate you having the faith in me to do the right thing with these bikes, and we will. Guys, thanks for watching. There's 10 bikes here, and I got to show you the 10 in the trailer if you're still with us and you haven't seen the other video. These are nowhere near as nice as Justin's, but there is one special bike in here. There's an XR 400 that is street legal and basically brand new, and I've always wanted one. So I've got a couple mini bikes for the next Mini Bike Mania, an RD 350, a crusty RD, a crusty OSA, a Panther, which I've never even seen one before, with 240 miles on it, an OSA, a BSA 500 Super Sport, a Vespa, a Beto, and the XR 400, and RD 350, which you can't see, and an 82 YZ 125. So I got 10 bikes in here. Got up at 5 o'clock this morning. It's 5 o'clock now. Been on the road all day picking up bikes. There's 10. I can probably fit another 5 in the back here. Then I'll be back later for the other 5. We're bringing 20 bikes home Sunday. So these will all be at the shop Monday morning. Thanks for watching. Appreciate all your support. If you haven't hit the subscribe button, please do. If you want to buy a raffle ticket for the 500, go to KaplanCycles.com. We're raffling off a CR 500. Thanks for watching. And God bless America, the land that I love.